This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Cover! We got it, the new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast leading to the real deal, baby!
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? It is another Thursday. Yeah, we're running a little bit late, but that's because we got new things down the pipe. We're going to be adding some video game streaming to the Knockouts and 3 Counts repertoire. We're giving you everything come the way of pro wrestling, MMA, and all those things. And speaking about MMA, and today, we got all day Drew Morais, who was calling the fights with me at Lights Out 12 last weekend at the Wayne Hype Athletic Center. Bro, it's been a while since you've been on the show. How the hell are you?
Good, man. Just got off work and just had dinner and hanging out with the family for a little bit.
I feel it. Well, how are you feeling about how are you feeling about being back on commentary last week in Lights Out 12 after all the actions unfolded on this one?
That was cool, man. You know, a lot of good fights, a lot of new names. I've been away from the game for a minute. So I didn't really know a lot of the fighters, but definitely seen a couple fighters that I'll be paying attention to now. And yeah, man, it was definitely some really cool finishes. You know, a lot of high level talent. So
that back fist.
Yeah, Buddy Earl's back fist was insane. I'm so mad I missed it live. I was looking at you saying something. I don't know why I was even looking at you. I just kind of like habit looking at somebody trying to talk.
You were in mid thought, and he just uncorked that shit, and guy just. It was like the game over button got hit. He just boom. It was over with.
Like I was talking to you, looking at you, and you jumped, and I was like, "What the heck, man? Why you jumping? What's going on?" And then, you know, that's the old boy out there laying out.
And all I could spit out is "Whoa, back fist."
Yeah, no, it was a great spinning back fist. Great night of fights in general, man. It was cool. It was cool to commentate again.
Hell yeah, man! Shout out to Matt Friendo. Definitely a good card. We had a few things switched out. You said you had some standouts on the card. Who were some of your standouts on Lights Out 12?
I think it's a secret that I'm a big Christian Neff fan. Neff continues to impress me. I've watched most of his fights now. Just a great young man in general. Not even minus the fighting, just a great young man. I've known Christian for quite a few years now. He impressed me. Of course, Bashi. I forgot his name. You better know, but the kid from Mercy, I believe he's 3-0 now. Jake, I think his name is.
Yeah, Jake Scott.
Yep, Jake Scott. He impressed me. He looked good. I'm trying to think who else. There was a lot of people. A lot of people impressed me. The kid that won the 135-pound amateur title from South Carolina. I don't remember his name, but
I'm gonna pull up the fight card here. But
yeah.
A lot of the ones that you named, obviously the one that jumps off the page for obvious reasons is Austin Bashi for me. I think this is probably the last one we're going to maybe see of him on the regional scene because I don't think it's any secret. I think that he is destined for the big show. But like you said, Christian Neff is one that I've gotten to call his last couple fights. And dude, that kid has impressed the hell out of me because his last fight, he was throwing up all kinds of submissions and things. And to be able to show that he's that well-rounded and to be able to get it done the way he did this time, I think there's big things in store for him for his next fight. I think Austin impressed me. He impressed me. Zoe Nowicki really
yes.
Impressed me as well too, because not that okay, and before I say this isn't to like discourage any female fighters or anything of the sort, but it's not very often that you see someone like a Zoe Nowicki who is just taking her down and controlling her on the ground, just like that stock wrestler. Like you had Sarah McMahon, who's known for that. You got Liz Carmouche, who's known for that. But like you don't see it as readily as you see it in men's MMA, I feel like. So she stuck out to me. And I don't know how we didn't mention this guy yet. What up, though, Chris? Abe Al-Sagir. I feel like he had a lot tougher test this time. You know, his first fight, he pretty much ran through the guy. Shout out to Kobe Woodall, who, you know, is coming out of Ohio. Tough kid and really stuck in there, man. It wasn't like he was running from him at all. And I feel like it gave Abe the look that he kind of needed with, you know, a little bit of adversity. I think we're going to see big things from Abe, too, because, man, just like Bashy, you know, both of them guys really had a hell of a crowd in there. And speaking of Bashy, his cousin Carlo, who made his debut. And can we talk about the fact that these guys must have got the script and they both won by rear naked choke?
They must have planned that. You know, with two of the things, you know, like when you talk about with, you know, Christian, you know, biggest question with, you know, I had with Christian coming into this was like, how's Christian off his back? You know, is he able? What happens if he is taken down? We've seen what happens. You know, the kid can fire out subs nonstop, which is like, it's crazy for me in this early in his career able to do that, being such a heavy wrestler. You know, not really heavy wrestler because the kid's got hands too. Don't get me wrong, but coming from a wrestling background, right? Now on the side of like Abe, my biggest thing coming in and watching him was that I want to see how he can do when he's battle tested in the third round. You know, when you know you're in a firefight, that question got answered. You know, like he showed that he came out tough fight. You know, Kobe wasn't going anywhere. You know, and Abe was throwing everything at him. And the kid was just taking it. And then, you know, Abe came in the third round and said, "This is gonna end now." And you know, got him out of there with that guillotine choke.
You know, and that's the thing too. Like, what did you think about what Abe had to say after the fight? I've enjoyed every fight I've seen from him. Shout out to Ali the Butcher Hamka and all the guys over at Detroit Jiu-Jitsu. I know you guys check out the show. I liked what we saw from Abe in the cage. Abe kind of called this shot and saying, you know, he wants to fight on Contender Series next. And, you know, he's looking for that shot from Dana. What do you think about that? For me, I'd like to see him kind of take a page a little bit out of Austin Bashy's book in, you know, getting a few more different styles and tough fights on the regionals. But what did you think for that? What would you see next for Abe?
I mean, if you're in the fight game and you're not trying to fight the best, then what are you doing, right? I mean, he strongly feels that he said it, I'm the best 155 pounder in the state. Now, that's a really, really bold statement because there's a lot of good 155 pounders in the state. If he truly believes that, that's all good, great. You know what I'm saying? Do I believe he's going to be one of the best? He's going to maybe one day be the best 155 pounder in the state? Without a doubt in my mind. But right now, it's still early in his career. But if he has a shot to go to Contender Series, he'd be crazy not to go.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm not saying don't go if they call you.
I'm saying, like, he's crazy not to even want to go. Like, he's got skills.
Facts.
Especially this early on in his career. You know, and what do you have? 6 amateur fights?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That just shows you how good his training is right there. You know, he's had 8 collective fights and, you know, in between amateurs and pros. You know, kid is very good, you know, but yeah, like I could definitely see with his skill set and his work ethic, I don't see any reason when the next 3 to 4 fights he couldn't have a Contender Series fight.
More talent I'm admitting, dude. You gotta love that. I love seeing that shit.
Oh, dude, I hope he does, and I hope he does well, man. That's awesome because I mean, like I said, I love the Detroit Jiu-Jitsu guys. You know, former team of mine. I'm still tight with Fares and all them, you know, and like I just, you know, they're building a monster there. The kid has mad talent, and you know, I hope he does big things because I mean, for one, he's from Michigan, and 2, you know, he's coached by my boys. His boxing coach is my old boxing coach. You know, I'm still tight with. You know, like I want to see their pupils do well. You know, and he seems like a great guy. Abe, never really got the chance to really talk to him, but I mean, just, you know, I've seen him walk around, his demeanor seems like a good guy.
From my dealings with him so far, man, I got nothing but good things to say. I mean, he seems real humble. He doesn't seem like a guy who's coming in here, you know, over cocky. He's letting, you know, his skills in the cage, you know, really determine, what people are going to say here, because he's proven, like you said, now we've gotten to see what happens when you don't just finish somebody in the first round. Now we see what happens when, okay, I hit this guy a few times, or I tried to take this guy down a couple times and it didn't happen right away. Because that was one thing that impressed me with Kobe Woodall, was that even though Abe was getting takedowns, like, he was making them all grimy. And even if he was getting taken down, he was immediately getting his back to the cage and trying to get up or scramble up or however the hell he had to do it. So for Abe to successfully get his game plan like that, and he had went for the guillotine twice before he got the third and final guillotine. That's
he
the
went
thing.
for it twice, but if you watch that fight, he was fishing for it a lot more than that.
I just mean he had the two sellout attempts. He got that third one, and then when that third one, he really locked it in, because the first two he had the arm in, and in the last one he had the full. And that shows a real, as somebody who loves guillotines myself, shout out to Big Don. That being said, I mean, for you to have that kind of confidence in your guillotine that you're going to keep fishing for it like that, and then to still finish it that way after the guy knows that you're going to keep going for the guillotine, or at least that it's a threat, that shows something about your skill to be able to finish that off. With that said, out of everything that we saw at Lights Out, were there any matchups that you'd like to see out of this? Because another one that really impressed me was Calvin Harbaugh looked good. Other than that headbutt that caused that nasty knock of the eye, a big win for him as well.
Yeah, that was a big one. Harbaugh's what, a 3,500?
Yeah, I got it pulled up right here. Yep.
Yeah, he's 3,500.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. And he won by renegade joke, but like we were saying on commentary, that's the crazy thing with some of these regional fights, right? So, this puts Calvin Harbaugh at 6-5, but Usama Rahman, for those who don't know, he defeated, Vince Murdoch, who's another Ultimate Fighter alum, fresh out the house at TWC. So even though that guy's record doesn't necessarily reflect, the top level of the state, that guy's fought a lot of guys. So that's a tough win for Harbaugh. Is there any matchups you'd like to see get matched up out of this?
I was trying to top of my head, trying to think of somebody, kind of for Abe that would be a good fight, kind of build up on this one for Harbaugh.
What weight is Chad Decker? Or they train together? They're not going to fight.
He's a 45-pounder too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's a 45er. I like to see him, fight somebody with a little more experience. Obviously I know how the game works. I know you gotta, you want to slowly move people on, get them the right fights. I guess I've been around out of the game for a while. I couldn't even name any of the 55-pounders now. So, I mean, I would say, try to see, kind of look at Tapology, kind of get, maybe I can scurry over there. But
here, I got you.
Kind of look at some of like the top 10 lightweights in the state. Try to get them maybe, the 9 or 10s. Start working up those rankings and the lightweight rankings in Michigan.
Let's see. Come on, just give me the list of them. Here, I'll just pull up Abe's name and then I can click into it that way. While we do that, J-Bone, how are you feeling? Drew, have you gotten to check out UFC at all or any of that stuff from last weekend? Because, man, there were some fucking fights on there. If that Austin Lane fight hadn't fell through, that would have been a nice parlay, but I still won some money off of that.
I hope they run that one back real quick because that was going to be a banger, dude. That fight wasn't going to last anyway. Somebody was getting knocked out in that fight, but the unfortunate finger poke, the eye poke was probably one of the worst we've seen in recent memory, Kyle.
Which fight was that?
Who is Austin Lane and Tafa?
Austin Lane and Tafa. Yeah, that was the worst one I've seen in recent memory. He was up to his knuckles in this dude's eye.
Yeah, I seen that one. I think I may have left right after that one to go up to the fights.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I was. Yeah, because I was on my way right when the main event was starting.
horrible, man.
I knew
but-
Taporia was going to win, but boy, I didn't expect him to beat him up for 5 rounds like that. That was a tough one if you're Emmett fan. I've got the lightweights pulled up here. They still got Kenny Cross as the number 1 lightweight. But obviously he's with Bellator. They got Jonas Flock, number 2. You got Troy Lamson, number 3. Reese Brink, number 4. You know, we saw Reese Brink on the last Lights Out card before this one. That could be a fight as well.
Yeah.
Because Reese just came back as well. I believe his last fight was his first fight back. So that could be an interesting matchup too. You know, we're gonna have to see what's next for Lights Out and what Matt Frendo's got to come next for Lights Out. But before we get to talking about the UFC and International Fight Week and all these good things, because we've got some badass fights on the way, I got to give a shout out to our new sponsor, Potter's Tree Service. You got to check them out, man. If you are in need of any tree removal, tree trim, and tripping services, storm damage cleanup, walnut logging, or lot clearing, check them out. Potter's Tree Service, numbers right there. Ace is a good dude. We appreciate y'all for sponsoring us. And like I said, man, you know that shit's going to take a while. Let him come handle it. Your yard will look nicer, and you'll be doing all right. But with that being said, we've got quite the list of fights coming up here to come. You know, a lot of people aren't talking about this UFC card this weekend with Sean Strickland in the main event because we have all the fights that are coming next week. You got any thoughts on this UFC card that we've got coming up? I'm about to pull up the fight card on the screen. Strickland versus Mamagomedov. And then you've got, I like Ismagulov. I don't know much about Grant Dawson, but it's Demir Ismagulov versus Grant Dawson. They got a couple fights on there, but I think the fight everybody's looking for is, there you go. Blank. So you've got Demir Ismagulov versus Grant Dawson. You got Sean Strickland versus Mamagomedov. You got Max Griffin, who looked good in his last fight against Michael Morales. Not the most star-studded of UFC cards, but I kind of feel like they're kind of priming us for International Fight Week.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, but like we said, man, UFC every Saturday for 4 months. It's hard to really pack those card top tier stars. You know what I mean? So, hats off for giving us Saturday.
What's interesting is they're going to be going head to head with WWE too.
Yeah. Well, what time? So what time's the main card for UFC?
Or no, I take that back. That's right. They're in England. No, it starts at 7.
WWE's
so
at what? 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 3. Oh. So it would at most it would be ending when this starts. So they're not going directly head to head.
What's the rest of the fight card?
What'd you say?
Can you scroll down for the rest of the card?
Yeah.
That
you've got Ariane Lipsky versus Melissa Gatto. You got Ismail Bonifim of Dana White's Contender Series against Benoit St. Denis. Bruno Ferreira against, I don't know how to say that, Ruzaboyev. And then Kevin Lee is back in the UFC.
Kevin Lee.
Yeah. And he's an underdog. Put some money on a Motown Phenom against Renat. Jesus. These names
good luck with that one.
That guy, Renat.
That one.
That guy. And then you got Yana Santos versus Carol Rosa. You know, Yana's always a fan favorite, but man, she's got to get her a dub in this one too.
Yeah.
How you feeling on this one, J-Bone? We were talking about.
I mean, let's not forget Brito fighting there. He's always exciting, man. The guy could finish a fight from anywhere, so I'm pumped for it. I honestly forgot about the return of Kevin Lee. I'm actually pretty psyched for that too now. So, I'll be completely honest though, I've never betted for Sean Strickland, so I'm gonna keep riding that. I've never been a fan, dude. Nothing against the way he fights, nothing against the guy at all. It seems that every single time he's fighting against somebody, I just like the other guy better. I don't know why that is.
You can just say you don't like him, bro.
It's not that I don't mind the guy at all, but I'm like, I never never root for this guy for some reason. So it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
I'm looking forward to seeing some fights. I'm really interested. The one that sticks out to me, obviously, I enjoy watching Strickland fight, but Ismagulov, bro. Drew, have you gotten to see much of Ismagulov?
I'm not sure about what weight is he?
He is. I'll click it and open it up. It's lightweight bout.
Lightweight.
And he just got his first loss. I'm trying to remember who he fought. I'll pull it up here in a second.
How do you say his name? Trezukian? I can't say his name, dude. Sarukian?
Oh, Arman Sarukian. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Okay, yep. I know. I remember that. Yeah, that was his first loss, though. But I mean, that's a
good loss. Arman's a stud.
That guy's a fucking killer.
Yeah.
Or no, that's his second loss. So he is 24-2.
Yeah, but Arman's a stud, though, man.
Yeah, and it was a decision. He didn't finish him. It was a unanimous decision.
Who did Arman fight? It was just like a fight. They were just scrambling the whole time.
That was.
It was like his first loss, I think.
Gamrot, Mateus Gamrot.
That was a good fight. I enjoyed that fight.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm a big fan of his. And the thing I like about that guy is he can fight everywhere. He's not just like a one-dimensional. Like, he fought on the ground, and he had very good takedown defense. Like, for being a guy who didn't look like he could wrestle as much, boy, he did a good job of keeping himself off his back. So again, maybe not the most active of cards that you're gonna see, but at the same time, man, it's
Hey, I wouldn't be shocked if this one steals the show, though. This fight right here could be the one. This is a toss-up, dude. I mean, considering the odds, it's really a pick 'em. So this could be the one. I mean,
Dawson's only got one loss himself, so it's not like we're talking about a slouch by any means.
They're both coming off losses and then five wins in a row prior to that.
No, it says Grant Dawson's coming off a win.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. I got it. Yeah, you're right. Against Madsen.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I mean, this fight card looks all right. I mean, I want to this one. I probably want to go out of my way to watch. If I'm not doing anything, maybe I'll watch it.
Right.
Type of situations, but I mean, this isn't something I'm like, oh, this is must see. You know.
Right. I hear you. It, like I say, it's just fights. Like J Bone said, it's good to have fights on, for the next 4 months. I'll tell you though, now that card next week, bro, that one is gonna be a banger. Let me pull that up.
That's a big one. Yeah, that one's gonna be a big one. You got Volk versus Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Mondo's down in Mexico. Help.
Moreno
Pantoja. Whitaker versus Duplessis. Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. That's going to be a banger. Bo Nickel. Holy shit, the odds are insane again.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I mean, come on. I know gambling is like fun, but like, geez, man, like how do you win any type of money off Bo Nickel? You really gotta like break it down.
You have to bet on how he wins or the number of rounds.
I mean, even the seconds. I know on DraftKings you could do within the first minute and how the method of victory. Maybe that's the only way, but
can we just point out that Jalen Turner is by far the biggest lightweight I've ever seen in my life?
Oh yeah, dude! How that guy is only 155 pounds, dude?
What is he like? 6'11"? Like it's crazy,
dude. It's something crazy. I'll tell you right here in a second. Let's say 6'3".
Crazy how tall that is.
But his length, though, and what's good is like we talked about on the call with Lights Out, bro. A lot of guys you see that have that long reach don't use it.
No,
he uses it very well, and that's I think what's interesting. He at a young age has been able to learn how to put people at the end of those long punches. I see big things for him, bro. I think, but then again, bro, fighting a guy like Dan Hooker's never an easy out. And on top of that, Dan Hooker is coming off a big win, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Kyle, is this the same card that they said Robbie Lawler's returning on this card, correct? On the prelims?
Let me see.
Is that this card?
Yes, it is. Robbie Lawler, Nico Price, and Jack. Wow, shit. Jack Magdalena. Dude, damn. Jack Magdalena versus Sean Brady and Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price is on the fucking prelims?
I'm pretty sure Jimmy Crute is on this one too. I think I just looked. I just had this card pulled up not too long ago.
So this fight card, I will definitely go out of my way to watch. Like this one, I will be tuning in.
If Robbie Lawler's in the cage, you damn right.
Well, I'm actually a big Penn State wrestling fan, so I'll definitely be watching Bo Nickel.
What do you think about him so far, bro? Like, do you really think? How do you think he does once they kind of notch up? Once he really starts getting into the thick of the top guys over there at welterweight?
I'm not surprised one bit how he's competing and how he's dominating. The dude is a winner through and through. I mean, if you watched his college wrestling career, I don't know if you ever had a chance to watch, but the way
I saw highlights, but I didn't watch it.
The way he dominated extremely, some of the best in the nation, and made it look easy. You know, NCAA finals his senior year, he throws a pretty much it's like a pancake, you know, just kind of roll to his back, you know, and puts himself to his back, flips it over, and pins him. Makes it look easy. Like the dude would just be out there touring with people. I'm not surprised. He's an elite level athlete. I don't know anything about the guy he's fighting, but it kind of sucks for that guy. He's got to fight Bo Nickel, but no, like what I really like about Bo, which I'm also not surprised either, is that how confident he is. But he knows, like, if it wasn't for David Taylor, Bo Nickel would be the representative for the USA and at the World Championships. He'd be on our world team. He'd be the number one guy. If David Taylor did not exist, Bo Nickel would be on our world team right now and probably winning worlds. But unfortunately for him, David Taylor doesn't exist in this world, so he went to this outlet, you know, and it's crazy, man. It's I expect Bo to do some big things. There's some. Obviously, he's still polishing this game up. He's only been fighting like what, a year? Excuse me, 2.
I would say probably 2 now because he had a little bit of time in between those contender series fights, and then he's already had a fight in the UFC too.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just the strides he's made in 2 years. It's crazy.
Oh, it's insane. Like there's no ifs, ands about it, dude. Like that's I mean, and how smooth he's done it. Like the thing is, man, he's went in and just straight blew these guys up, man. So it's a nasty thing. Speaking, since you said you're a wrestling fan and you watch a lot of college wrestling, what are your thoughts on Gable Steveson? We just saw him finally debut for WWE. His brother's been in WWE for a hot minute, but I know Gable just was competing in the World Championships for wrestling just, I believe, this past one. And shout out to past guest of the show, Mitch McKee from Killcliff, talking about how Gable's helping him get ready for his fights. I mean, he was in his corner for the last fight with LFA. I mean, I was surprised he didn't go the MMA route, but if we're talking somebody like a Kurt Angle, boy, man, Gable Steveson is going to be a beast.
Well, last time I heard, Gable Steveson actually talked about coming back to Minnesota for his last year of eligibility. Next year. So, which at one point he could not do, but because of the NIL deals, now they can be paid athletes in college. So when he, because he got paid in the pros for wrestling, he wouldn't be able to go back, but now he can because of NIL. So, for one, college wrestling in general does not get them. It's not really mainstream in America. Gable Steveson brings that must-watch TV to college wrestling. So I love the fact that there's a Gable Steveson out there because everybody tunes in to watch Gable Steveson do his backflips, and the dude's insane. And I love watching him wrestle and compete.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, bro. I mean, his brothers already look good. I think it's only a matter of time. We just saw him on TV here this past Tuesday for NXT, and he said he's going to be at the next NXT pay-per-view. But, I mean, J-Bone, I think you'd agree, bro. Like, even if that is the route he goes, like Drew said, and he goes back to Minnesota, now that you can get paid, WWE's like, go ahead and have your fucking year because, bro, they're thinking at him like the new Kurt Angle, bro.
Yeah, and it's all going to help in the long run. WWE's going to, it's going to pay off for them. Go out there. You're already a well-known commodity. You're already a well-known name in the wrestling world. Go make your bag. Go out there and dominate. Come back to WWE, and you might have some fresh new faces to watch the show. You know what I mean? So I think everybody.
What is he, like 20, 21, maybe? He's like
In early 20s. He's not
Yeah.
that far.
21.
Damn. See, and even that.
Yeah, it's plenty of time to develop.
Like, good
Long
Lord.
way to go, man.
Well, 'cause he
Like
just
I
made-
said, let
he just
that
made a
man
world
go
team.
get his bag. Right.
Yeah,
And he did well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he dominated Mason Paris, who just won the NCAAs. Like Mason Paris from U of M. Mason's a monster, dude, and Gable made it look easy, And it's he's probably gonna win worlds, and he's probably gonna go for another Olympic title. So more power to him, man. Because I mean, like you said, get that bag in.
And Kyle, we've seen WWE superstars like that. I mean, Kurt Angle, like you said,
Look at Mark Henry, bro.
Mark Henry. These guys do things outside of the company that bring more focus on them. When they
if
come
I'm not
back.
mistaken, J-Bone didn't when Mark Henry won World's Strongest Man or won one of his gold medals. Didn't WWE like he was already under contract? He was getting paid.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, bro, that's not anything that's out the way. And I mean, think about it from their standpoint. Hell yeah, go do that. If he wins another, world championship or whatever tournament he competes in, he comes back. Well, now you can say, well, okay, he's an Olympian. He's just won this. He just won that. And now he's coming in here. I mean, dude,
and
if I'm WWE, let that man do his deal.
And as history shows, there's really only two guys notable that has done stuff like that. One being Mark Henry, one being Kurt Angle. That's not bad names to be in the same category.
No,
that's not bad company. I'm not even big into that type of wrestling. I know who those guys are. So, well, obviously Kurt Angle through wrestling, but Mark Henry. I back when he was around though, I did watch it. And it's funny because my sons are getting into it now. And
who's some of the favorites, man?
Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, and John Cena.
Okay. Not bad picks.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's funny. I was showing my son when I wrestled in college. I wrestled in college with a guy. You probably know who it is. Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. Shout out. Dude, I was just with Cedric in fucking LA. Matter of fact, his wife, Big Swole, her and I linked up the day I interviewed DDP. The picture's right behind me. She was sitting at the table right next to us. She's got Crohn's like me. We totally linked up like that. That's the first time I've seen her in a few years. And Cedric, when she runs up and gives me a hug because we're walking out of Wale Mania, he stops and looks. And I know he was looking like, who the fuck is this white guy? And I swear. I mean, he just stopped and looked because she ran up and hugged me. And he's like, who the fuck is that? I know he was thinking, who the fuck is that? But that is funny.
He cool as hell. He was roommates with Taylor from our team, and it was fun. But Cedric was always really cool, man. And so yeah, it was funny because I remember seeing like an article about him, and then I looked at I kind of Googled it. But anyway, I was telling my son that I wrestled in college with a guy that was in the WWE, and I was just showing him a video before I came on here with you guys of Cedric wrestling. And I was like, well, that's crazy, man. I think it's just how things different paths and everything.
That dude's still such a badass athlete, dude.
He is, man.
I was wondering what he was doing now because I was like, I don't know if he even wrestles anymore.
He was part of a big group with Bobby Lashley and MVP just about a year ago. The Hurt Business, man. They were
love to see him back. Damn it!
Fuck yeah, dude. They were talking about that a few times. So yeah, I know motherfuckers listen. Bring back the Hurt Business. You ain't doing shit with Bobby Lashley either. So do it. I'm with it. Yeah, man. I'm definitely with that. But speaking of what's going down, bro, next week is gonna be such a fucking banger. Like, I gotta talk about this a little bit, Drew, because I want to know how you're feeling with this fight. Because, dude, I feel like this has just got banger after banger, and that's not even looking down to the prelims. So, what are you thinking about this one? How do you like Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair?
Volk.
Okay.
Volk. It's Rodriguez, he's a stud, man. And actually, one of his knockouts is by far one of my favorite knockouts. I believe it was the one of a Korean Zombie who threw that Hail Mary elbow.
Yes.
He came from who knows where. He pulled that out of his ass somewhere and threw it. That's probably one of my favorite knockouts. But I just think Volkanovski is just a complete fighter. He's like a robot when he's in there. He makes very little mistakes, and everything is just so on point with him. And the only way I see Rodriguez beating him is, for one, this is one of those situations where Rodriguez has got to use his length, distance, make Volkanovski Volk miss, and capitalize on something crazy. Other than that, I don't see him winning this fight.
I can't argue with that, dude. J-Bone, we're gonna have to break this one down next week, but
It's like he said though. It's so hard to go against Volk, dude. He's the gold standard in MMA right now.
And at 45,
he is the perfect fighter. If I could mold a fighter, and if I can make any of my fighters fight like him, this is what I want you to be.
There's really no weakness there. So, like you said,
look what he did against Makhachev, dude. And there ain't nobody left at 45 other than Holloway, and he's beat him twice. Yeah.
There's just not a lot you can hope from him as far as loss.
Hold on, Kyle. I think there's somebody knocking on that door now. He just fought last weekend,
that's fair. Topuria, but I think they're gonna give him one more fight before he gets up there for a title shot. Yeah,
that'd be a fun fight to watch. But right now I don't see Volk losing at 145 pounds.
Oh, I don't either.
I noticed they don't have the odds up there yet, Kyle, but they got it on DraftKings. Volk's coming in at -410.
Not really surprised at that, dude. Shit, you want to talk about another banger? They got the odds for this one up. This one's almost a pick 'em. You got Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja. I'm liking this fight. I think Brandon Moreno is a fun fucking fight every time he gets in the cage. And him and Pantoja have already fought once before.
That's what I thought. Didn't that dude beat him?
I believe so. Yeah, he did.
That was a long time ago, I think, though.
It was. I'm pulling it up right now. But dude, shout out to Brandon Moreno too, because he was another one of those guys who got affected by the whole James Krause thing and had to change his whole camp, and then goes to fight Figgy again and has the performance that he did, bro. It's insane, dude. Like, I'm looking at it right now. So his last fight was with Figueiredo that he won due to doctor stoppage. He beat Kai Kara France. I mean, this dude's just been fighting bangers. So like I said, that's gonna be an interesting fight.
Is that a pick 'em for you? Because that's another pick 'em for me, to be honest. It's just, how do you can't blink during this card.
Yeah, they fought in 2018. They fought in 2018. He lost by unanimous decision.
Right. And then he got released and then came back, right?
Right.
So I mean, when he came back, he was a whole different fighter.
Agreed.
This can be a good fight, though. I'm gonna go with the champ on this one.
I think so too. I think it's gonna be a really good fight, but I tend to think more what you're talking in the fact that it is definitely a different. What up, though, man? We're talking about next weekend's UFC real quick before we get up out of here, man. We've also got Rob Whittaker versus Duplessis. Now, this fight is very interesting because if Robert Whittaker wins this, it pretty much puts him in a spot where he's like the only guy for a title shot. But if Duplessis can find a way to beat Robert Whittaker, now this is probably about the only new fight that you could really have left for Israel Adesanya at 85. So it's an interesting fight, but I don't know that I think that Duplessis has got enough to get past Whittaker, because I'm almost starting to think that Whittaker was like the Max Holloway of 185. So now he's down at 170. We're going to see what happens with that there. Do you think if Whittaker does get a title shot out of this at 170, do you think he fares any different than
this fight's a middleweight?
No, oh shit. Okay, I thought it said welterweight. I misread it because he's fought at both. My bad. So it is.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, because
well, that's what it was. That's what it was. They're talking about if he didn't win at this title crack, then he would have to start looking at another weight class, because he said he doesn't have many fights left. And so I don't know, man. I don't think he could go back down to 170 again. I mean, how many fights do you think Whitaker's got left? But I think if he beats Duplessis, I kind of feel like they have to run that Adesanya fight back one more time.
Yeah. I mean, who else after that with Izzy? I mean, if you think about it though, too, because it's crazy to say this, but UFC's done crazier things. If there's nobody else left for Izzy to fight, don't be surprised when Bo Nickel gets fast tracked into Izzy. Don't be surprised.
That would be an interesting ass matchup, but I just want to know why we keep dancing around that trio fight with Pereira. But
well, we know why. But what's understood doesn't need to be said. But
I got you.
Don't be surprised. I mean, think about it though. I mean, because Bo's got crazy hype around him. UFC's done crazier things. Because by the time that fight would have to take place, Bo Nickel probably already have 2 or 3 fights in the UFC. Don't be surprised if they fast track it easy.
So I could see that, but let me ask you this though. Say, okay, let's just say Whitaker wins, and then that's what happens. Even if Duplessis wins, and that's who Izzy fights next. After that fight's over, like you said, the weight class is pretty well filled. The weight class is pretty well stuck out. So you may not have much of a choice. So that's the thing. You may not have a choice, but it's all going to come down to whether or not how this fight goes. But I feel like either way, you may be right. That might be the only way to go. But man, would that be a nightmare matchup for Izzy?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to wrestle with him.
Izzy won't have a choice. Bo Nickel's that good at wrestling; he will not have a choice. It's a matter of not if it's whenever Bo wants to wrestle, he's gonna wrestle Izzy. It's the dude's world class, man.
I'm with you. Like I said, that's what makes that fight so interesting, man. Well, fuck, I can't wait to get to International Fight Week. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes down, from the prelims to the main events and all that stuff. Drew, before we get out of here, bro, tell me about Blackwater Grappling and anything that you got coming up, bro.
Possibly some big announcements coming soon. Can't say much yet. Some possible changes coming soon. So right now, when I am going to announce something, it will be on your show. But I got you guys. So yeah, I don't know, man. Just kind of right now, just figuring some things out. But till then, just trying to rehab this knee of mine and get ready to get back to rolling and all that good stuff.
I feel that. I'm missing the gym like a motherfucker, man. I've been in there lifting weights. I wish I could be in there training more jiu-jitsu. So it's definitely on my to-do list. Once again, shout out Matt Friendo, shout out Lights Out. I'm definitely looking forward to checking UFC out. And again, shout out Potter's Tree Service. And stay tuned, man. Like I said, that streaming channel coming soon. Until next time, and in the in-between time, peace.